All right, let's just dive right into this. Welcome to a brand new explainer. Today, we are breaking down a truly, and I mean truly, terrifying mystery. We're going to pull apart the layers of a chilling local legend, a story that is just deeply rooted in folklore, dark magic, and some intensely unfulfilled desires. We're looking at the eerie tale of the Rahasyamai Dilhan, otherwise known as the Mysterious Bride. And look, this isn't just your run-of-the-mill ghost story. It is an absolute masterclass in suspense and misdirection. I want you to pay close attention to how this narrative expertly traps its characters, and honestly traps us as the audience, right up until a completely devastating final twist. So let's get started. You know how every good horror movie starts with a warning that goes completely ignored? Well, listen to this plea from Kasum. She's the mother of our main subject, a young guy named Pawan. She is practically begging her son's friends to respect the local lore here. This canal isn't just a place where kids go to hang out. It is a known hotspot for absolute tragedy. The stakes are established immediately. We aren't dealing with rumors of a spooky noise in the woods. We are dealing with a place where people literally vanish without a trace. 10. Up to 10 people have just evaporated into thin air at this exact location. But what do Pawan and his friends do? They completely brush off his mom's warnings. With that sheer invincible arrogance of youth, they decide this cursed canal is the absolute perfect, edgy spot to cut a midnight birthday cake and crack open a few beers. I mean, they walk right into a known death trap, just totally blind to the danger that's already waiting for them in the dark. So they head down to the canal, but things escalate almost instantly. The friends end up fleeing in absolute blind terror. They are so panicked that they abandon their car, they abandon their friend Pawan, and they even drop their smartphone in the dirt as they're sprinting away. Which leaves us with one incredibly terrifying question. What could possibly trigger that level of primal fear? What did they see out there in the darkness that made them just leave their best friend behind? Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how everything completely changes the next day when the friends hesitantly go back to recover that dropped phone. Opening the camera roll reveals a horrifying truth. In one of the photos they snapped in the pitch dark, there is a faceless woman draped in a blood-red bridal dress sitting right inside their car. It wasn't just a creepy feeling of being watched. This entity was physically there, interacting with their environment. And remember, while these friends ran for their lives, Pawan was left behind at the canal all night with her. When Pawan is finally discovered the next morning, he is fundamentally broken. His symptoms go way beyond a simple panic attack. He's completely catatonic, refuses to speak a single word. His skin is freezing cold to the touch, and his back is severely scraped up, but he doesn't react to pain at all. It's like he's just empty. So a local pandit, a spiritual guide and priest, is called in to examine him. And the pandit confirms our absolute worst fears. Pawan hasn't just been scared. His mind and body have been subjected to severe spiritual trauma. A restless spirit has officially latched onto him. To understand what this spirit actually wants, we have to look at the visual anchor of this whole haunting, the jorda. A jorda is a traditional red bridal outfit, and the ghost isn't wearing this by accident, right? In local folklore, spirits are often tethered to the physical world by deep, unfulfilled desires or sudden, violent interruption to their life path. So this red dress is a massive clue. It tells us that this entity is a bride whose wedding was tragically interrupted. She's trapped in the trauma of that specific moment in time. After days of this agonizing silence, Pawan suddenly snaps out of his catatonic state. But he isn't himself at all. He frantically demands that his mother hand over her own wedding dress, and he says he needs it for someone named Janvi. Okay, this completely shifts the mystery. We're no longer just dealing with a random faceless ghost at a canal. This entity has a name. She has an identity, and she has taken complete control of Pawan to get exactly what she wants. So who on earth is Janvi? Let's move to this timeline and see how this builds a chilling motive. Years ago, Janvi fell in love with a boy from a different social class, which was a massive societal taboo that basically sealed their fate. Facing brutal rejection from their families, they eloped. They planned to marry in secret at a local temple. But on the exact day of their wedding, they were ambushed by an angry mob. The boy was brutally beaten, captured, and dragged away. The very next day, Janvi vanished without a trace, presumably dead, with her dream of marriage shattered forever. This specific tragedy is the engine driving the entire haunting. With his mother's wedding dress now in his hands, Pawan, or rather the spirit controlling him, softly strokes the red fabric and whispers this incredibly chilling line. "I am coming to get you tonight." This is it. The point of no return. The possession is complete. The spirit of Janvi is using Pawan as a vessel to finally, at long last, complete her interrupted wedding night. The climax of our story is officially in motion, and it is all happening tonight. As darkness falls, this deeply unsettling procession begins. First, Pawan marches out of his house completely like a zombie, carrying the red bridal dress out into the desolate, pitch-black agricultural fields. Second, his terrified parents, Kusum and Harshit, follow him in secret, just absolutely desperate to protect their boy. And third, the pundit is trailing quietly behind all of them, claiming he's there to perform a ritual to free the restless spirit once she reveals her resting place. It is quite literally a chronological thriller playing out in the dark. Out in the middle of nowhere, the horror elements rapidly escalate. Kusum and Harshit are suddenly just frozen in their tracks. This invisible, terrifying force literally paralyzes them. They can't lift their feet. They are forced to watch helplessly as their son continues walking toward a glowing figure in the distance. It's the spirit of Janvi, now fully manifested in the red bridal dress. Janvi's spirit glides right up to the paralyzed parents. She leans in close and delivers this absolutely bone-chilling threat. Breathe, or you will die. This is not just a cheap scare tactic. She is intentionally isolating Pawan. She is neutralizing the parents so they cannot possibly interfere with whatever dark ritual is about to take place. She needs Pawan entirely to herself. So the parents are incapacitated. Pawan is lifelessly walking toward the ghost. And then the pundit steps forward into the clearing. Up until this exact moment, the pundit has been the voice of reason, right? The spiritual savior guiding the family. But as he approaches the spirit of Janvi, the entire narrative flips on its head. We really have to ask ourselves, what was this holy man actually doing out here in the dark? And this brilliantly illustrates the horrific reality of the situation. The pundit told the parents he was there to save Pawan and bring peace to a lost soul. But the dark truth? The pundit is actually the boy from Janvi's past. He's the boy who was abducted at the temple all those years ago. He doesn't want to banish her spirit at all. He wants to resurrect his dead lover. And he has orchestrated this entire night to sacrifice innocent Pawan to make it happen. So how is he pulling this off? Through Tantra Vidya. These are ancient esoteric traditions, often associated in local folklore with highly dangerous occult magic. See, after being torn away from Janvi all those years ago, this man didn't just move on. He spent years wandering, studying the most forbidden dark arts imaginable. He literally became a master of dark magic, just waiting for the perfect vessel to wander by that canal so he could initiate this ritual. Standing right there before the ghostly bride, the Pandit reveals his true identity to her. He says, it took years to understand this dark magic, and years to get here, but finally it's just you and me. It's this profound, twisted moment of dark romance, and he is completely ignoring Pawan, who is standing right there, slowly dying as his life force is actively drained. For the Pandit, the total destruction of an innocent family is just collateral damage for true love. The conclusion to this ruthless ritual is absolutely devastating. The parents actually manage to break free for a split second, but Janvi uses her supernatural power to instantly bind them and knock them out cold. With no one left to stop him, the Pandit completes the incantation and removes his hand from Pawan's head. Instantly, Pawan collapses to the dirt, dead. His life has been traded. The Pandit then pours enchanted water over the spectral bride, and right before our eyes, Janvi transforms from a transparent ghost back into living, breathing flesh and blood. The story ends on an incredibly unsettling and bleak note, because the villains completely win. The Pandit and Janvi, reunited at long last in human form, share a smile. They lock fingers and just simply walk away, disappearing into the dark fields. They leave behind two unconscious parents who are going to wake up to find their only son dead in the dirt, entirely oblivious to the incredible dark magic that just stole him away. It's a really harsh reminder that in local folklore, sometimes the bad guys just get exactly what they want. Which leaves us with one final, terrifying thought. The Pandit and Janvi are now out there roaming the world. A man who has mastered the darkest of arts and a woman who is literally returned from the grave. They got what they wanted, sure, but that cursed canal? It's still there. So I have to leave you with this. When the next group of teenagers decides to go crack open a few beers in the dark, who will be the next to vanish? Thank you so much for exploring this chilling mystery with me. Keep your eyes open, respect those local legends, and I'll catch you on the next explainer.